Dave and Lucy have been in business for a long time. They have a great business and a great team. After years of hard work, they wanted to increase their property portfolio with their dream home. But being self-employed, they found their bank's lending criteria very restricted. They sought Toowoomba's Edge Lending, the business lending experts. Edge Lending thinks outside the box and were able to secure a facility for Dave and Lucy to purchase the property. Edge Lending, making business lending easier.
So guys, I'm going to do a quick update on this next flight we're taking. So this has been probably the biggest burden in our side, this flight. So when Scott booked, it was all through Thai Airways, flight from Prague to Istanbul, with a 2-hour changeover, then Istanbul through to Bangkok. We then got a flight cancellation for our flight from Prague to Istanbul that made us land actually in Istanbul too late for our connecting flight to Bangkok. So then Scott had to make the phone call to get that all changed. So they ended up moving us to a code share Turkish Airways flight this morning that gets us there with 2 hours overlay before our next flight to Bangkok. So last night when I went to check on, well, yesterday morning, 24 hours prior, couldn't check in. Then it kept telling me I had to go to Turkish Airways. I was on the Thai Airways site to check in for this flight this morning. So then we went out and did our things we had to do for the day, came back in the afternoon, tried to do the check-in again. Could only access the check-in from Istanbul to Bangkok, and of course couldn't do that because they were asking for my visa, because they have the assumption we've stayed in Istanbul for a time before leaving, so we need a visa to leave. So I ended up ringing Turkish Airways because I couldn't log into Turkish Airways to check in for the flight this morning due to the fact that the Thai Airways codes didn't work. So we finally got someone in Turkish Airways, had a chat with them, talked about it all. They couldn't help me because it's all actually under a TG flight number for the code share. So he advised me that we were okay because the last time we flew Turkish Airways, the flight was overbooked, and that's when we were leaving Istanbul. So we're worried about that. We finally got on to get to Thailand, but we were worried that that was going to happen again. So he told me I needed to ring Thai Airways. So then I hung up, finally found a phone number for Thai Airways, called Thai Airways. He advised me that we would be right this morning, that we would have a seat. Same with the Turkish Airlines guy, told me we would have a seat for this flight this morning. So we've now turned up the 3 hours prior, and we actually don't need to be here till 7:20. So we're here an hour early, which is very, very different because most times it's 3-hour check-in. So Thai Airways, we better do the right thing today because we haven't been overly happy with Thai Airways. We've flown Thai Airways a lot. When COVID happened, we stopped flying Thai Airways, but we've started back. And the last Thai Airways flight we did to India was quite good. So I'm hoping it all works in today with the 2-hour changeover in Turkey, Istanbul. We arrive, we get to the second flight. Turkish Airways have told us that our luggage goes all the way through, so I'm hoping that's correct. So we're going to bring you an update as this pans out, to whether it's fantastic or it turns into an absolute shit day. It's going to be shit enough with all the flying we're going to be doing with our crew, but it can turn even worse if it had to. So we're going to bring you updates throughout the time on how it all goes. Hopefully we get checked in and get into our flight to Istanbul. Hopefully we get there in time to get to the next flight to get to Bangkok, and hopefully all our luggage lands in Bangkok. So keep watching to see what happens today. Okay guys, so we have finally gone through the check-in and we're probably a bit more worried about it than we should have been. Boarding passes from here to Istanbul to Bangkok. We've actually got up the front seating, which is really good on the first flight. So we only have a 2-hour lapse in Istanbul, and I'm assuming we're going to be getting off and getting back on fairly quickly. So we're at front row 8, so that's the first for us. We've got to sit back. And our baggage is put all the way through. So hopefully when we get to Bangkok, we'll have all our baggage. Frosty day outside today. Got a little bit of white for myself, so that was really cool. So by Prague, thoroughly enjoyed it. Hopefully Turkish Airways and Thai Airways are a lot better than the flights we've been having. So we'll bring you a review once we probably get to Istanbul, maybe if we get some time. If not, we'll see you in Bangkok. See you guys.
Prague have equity in their home, plus some savings in the bank. They decided to buy a second property as a tenanted investment. They got advice from Toowoomba's Edge Lending, because Edge Lending are the experts in borrowing to buy investment property.